Hello ladies, and welcome back to Thankful Thriftiness. So my mom and I recently did a haul of baby clothing, and I thought it would be the perfect time to sit down, take the tags off of all these cute little clothes, and share with you how I survived my first trimester, along with a couple of generic tips on how to help others survive that time. Also regrets, what I wish I had done that I didn't do. Before I forget, there is a free spring meal planner template linked in the description box, so don't forget to check that out at the end of this video. So I apologize in advance if this is a little bit scattered and all over the place. I have like a whole page of notes and then some. I didn't know exactly what all to share, what not to share, because everyone's first trimester is different. Everyone's is. And if I've learned anything, it's that. And so please take what I'm sharing with a grain of salt. I just found it helpful when I was going through it to be watching a bunch of other videos on women sharing what they went through, just so I didn't feel crazy. So I've included a lot of details that might seem redundant from what you've probably heard before. But just in case it's helpful to you, it's all going to be here. And any tips I share, please take lightly. I'm not a midwife, I'm not a physician, but they're not really tips like that anyways. It's just more like mindset, how to cope with not feeling well. So several weeks ago, I actually had to take the glucose test early. Most women, I think maybe all when you're pregnant, have to take it during the second trimester. But because I accidentally drank juice and I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do that, right before the first time I took my blood test or got the blood work done, it came up as really high blood sugar content, and they were concerned I had gestational diabetes. Word to the wise, do not drink juice before taking blood tests. It'll save you a world of hurt. So anyways, praise the Lord, the glucose test came back fine. I'm totally fine. I shared with the midwife what I had done by drinking the juice, and she said, oh yeah, that was probably it. But I did have to go through, going first thing in the morning, not eating anything beforehand. I threw up 3 times beforehand, drank the juice, got the blood work done. Praise the Lord, I didn't throw up the juice. That was a miracle. But I knew I couldn't drive myself home. I was just feeling so icky. And so I asked my mom to take me, and she was so sweet and came and brought me. And then afterward, we had been talking, and I said, I have a really hard time because I'd love to buy some baby clothes, but we don't know the gender yet. So I don't know what to do. And she said, let's go get one of each. Let's go get a cute little boy outfit and a cute little girl outfit. It did wonders for just my mental state, just to look at all the cute baby clothes, pick some out. So that's where we got all of these. The reason there's so many of them is we went to Old Navy and there were a bunch of things on clearance for even less than $1. So, if you've been around this channel long enough, you know I can't resist things that are less than $1. So, yeah, so that's where all these came from. So there's some boy and girl stuff. I was really disappointed. Be careful shopping Old Navy for boys' clothes, apparently. They were all just a little too feminine. It's like, it was riding that line, and it was actually weird. They mixed the boy and the girl clothes. There was not a specific girl section, there was not a specific boy section for the baby clothes. It was strange, so just so you know, if you're shopping for masculine little boy clothes, Old Navy might not be your place, unfortunately. So I thought the best way to go about this would be to start off with sharing kind of not week by week, but by chunks of weeks, how things kind of went and changed. A very sweet friend of mine got me this baby journal, so I recorded a lot of what was going on throughout the week so I could go back and reference that, which is wonderful. So thank you, Ashley. I have greatly appreciated this baby journal. It's got prayers and everything written out right there for you to pray for your baby. It's great. So I found out I was pregnant when I was about 3.5 to almost 4 weeks along. I can't remember the exact days. I think it was 3 weeks and 6 days or something. And I'm not going to go into, in this video, all the symptoms I had previous to taking the test. I'm going to do an entire other video on that. There's a lot of other stuff to get into, and I just don't really want to do that on this video. But I was somewhat symptomatic, but not really. I kind of felt tired, a little bit nauseous, all the way up until week 6.5, exactly. And everything changed. I kind of thought I was going to get an easy ride because I got all the way to week 6 feeling totally fine. I was very wrong. But at least God was gracious and gave me that time to just enjoy knowing that we were going to have a baby and, just doing fun things, preparing for that. Okay, are these shoes not the most darling little things? Let me look at the tag. How much were these? Oh, these were on clearance for under $3. I mean, yeah. They remind me of like tap dancing shoes from like the 40s. They're adorable. So at week 6.5, precisely, I woke up one morning. I can't remember if I threw up beforehand. I think I threw up once, which was strange for me. And then I ate a slice of toast and drank a little glass of milk thinking, oh, this will calm down my stomach. And I threw it right back up. And I think I tried eating one more thing and threw it right back up. So I called my mom, which, okay, pro tip. If your mom is in your life, like that is the biggest, oh my goodness, these pants were under $2. Yeah. Anyways, your mom is the biggest asset you have when you're pregnant because she's been through it. And even other friends that have just had babies. But, there's something about, at least with the relationship with my mom, I can literally tell her anything and it's not TMI. So I called her just in tears, or I think I messaged her, and I just said, I can't keep anything down. Like, what do I do? If I can't eat, like, what do I do? I just kind of had a panic moment there. And she told me, I can't remember exactly what she told me, but I think she said, wait half an hour after you've thrown up to eat a little something. So she just helped me by researching something called the Bratz diet, which is bananas, rice, apples, and toast. Unfortunately, I would quickly eliminated the apples and the bananas because those made me throw up too. But for the first few days, it really helped. So that was what started everything. And from then on, I was throwing up every single day. I've only had a few days since then where I haven't thrown up at all, including this morning. I mean, it's just routine at this point, twice a day, usually first thing in the morning. So anyways, my mom rescued me that day and at least helped me get into perspective that, yeah, this could be how it goes and it's going to be okay. So super thankful, thank you, Mom, for helping me, especially on that day. But from then on, I'd say up until week 8, I had really severe nausea and heartburn. The combination is not fun. It was either one or the other all the time, like nonstop. It was not an enjoyable experience. Oh, this is so cute, little snowsuit, under $7. Not bad. During that time, the only protein I felt like I could get down easily was tuna sandwiches from Subway. So we ate some tuna sandwiches from Subway. And then I think is when the major food aversions kicked in. As in, all of a sudden, my brain associated tuna Subway sandwiches with heartburn. And so I could no longer get those down. My poor husband, all he's had to go through with trying to get me food, I feel so bad for him, but he's been a champ. Because I know we still have a Subway gift card that he had saved up points from getting gas and stuff at a certain gas station, and he bought me this gift card. I can't wait till I can eat that again and use that gift card, but all of a sudden I could hardly eat anything. Like literally I was limited to bread, and that's about it. I also started struggling with some bloating. I think more it's a mental thing than it is a physical issue. It's kind of hard when you're newly pregnant and you feel like you look pregnant already and you know that it's not the baby showing, it's just bloating, but please don't let it get to you if you have that. It's just kind of is what it is. But I started to definitely have a lot more of that around this time. Thankfully, that does dissipate later on. At least for me, it did. I'm going to try to be careful about making generic statements about being pregnant because everyone's different. This little one was 97 cents, and it's so cute. I have a total weakness for baby footy pajamas. The good news is between week 6 and 8, we got to go to our first midwife appointment, get our first ultrasound, and that really helped me just to see that little baby wiggling around, so happy in there and very healthy. It just really helped me put it in perspective that what I was going through was totally worth it and it wasn't going to be forever. And someday I'm going to get to hold that baby and it's no longer going to be, well, it'll be changing my hormones still, but not quite to that extreme I was going through at the time. At the midwife's appointment, she gave me some advice when I told her I couldn't keep anything down. She told me to take vitamin B6 and I think it was Benadryl at the time in the evenings to help me sleep and help with nausea. Since then, that's changed. I'm taking something different now. But the main thing she said was first thing in the morning, drink a glass of lemonade and eat as many potato chips as you can. I guess that's the advice that they give to the people who literally can keep not even their own saliva down. So I tried that and it was the weirdest thing. The first day it worked like a charm. I felt amazing. And then after that, all downhill from there. But I was grateful for that one day that it did help. And I'm sure it's a wonderful tip for a lot of people. It just did not work for me. But at least it helped me realize that there were things I could do to make it a little bit better that didn't involve taking strong medicine, which I really want to avoid as much as possible with this baby. Of course, always keeping in mind that there's this balancing act. Like, I'm willing to take something to help me sleep because me not sleeping is worse for the baby than me taking some medicine, if that makes sense. Of course, to each his own. Talk to your doctor, talk to your midwife. Take nothing in this video as like medical advice. But in my mind, that's just kind of how it works. We found this super cute shirt. There were a lot of little onesies and things that said, I am loved. But then we found this one that said, you are so loved. And I thought that would be just the cutest thing to see a little toddler running around in. I think it would make people smile. Week 9 to 10 was a little bit different. My husband and I actually went on a vacation with his family down to Mexico. And so part of that was just so nice to take time off of work. And the place we were staying at was like an outdoor house. So I was constantly in contact with fresh air, which was absolutely exactly what I needed. It was wonderful. They had a pool there. But that week I got really, really sick. And the hardest part I think was the food. Because Mexican food smells so good, like it's so flavorful, but I couldn't eat any of it. And so I lived on chips and guacamole for the most part, and bagels, and fruit sometimes. Still losing my cookies a lot, but just trying to keep fluids down. That was the hardest part. Thankfully, I was able to eat a decent amount of food, especially the first couple days, but it reached a point one day where I remember I feel so bad because I dragged them all over the place. We'd go somewhere and then I'd be like, could you take me back? Could you take me back? I need to lay down. There was one morning where I felt okay when I got up. My husband and I were going to go shopping while the rest of the family went on a hike. And we went to this mall to get some souvenirs for my family and ourselves. And I kept almost passing out, like right in the middle of, I think it was a marina. I just kept almost passing out. And so it was not fun at all. And finally, the hike actually didn't work out, but I went back to the house and I remember almost passing out on the way up the stairs and then just like throwing up all the fluids I had drunk that day. And it was just so frustrating. And I actually started to really feel the effects of dehydration. And we were 2 ways away from coming back to the US. So that was pretty scary because the way the healthcare works in the area we were, they have a hospital, but they will charge you an arm and a leg because of the way things work in that area. And so I knew I couldn't get that help there. And so I called my midwife and I couldn't really get a hold of her because of like cell reception issues. But thank goodness I was able to get a hold of my mom. And once again, mom to the rescue. I told her I couldn't keep any fluids down, and she said, well, why don't you try like juices or Coke or something, anything? And I'm like, Mom, you're amazing. How did I not think of that? There's really a value in having someone else's opinion, especially when you're that sick, because your brain probably isn't working properly to remember all that you need to. So it ended up working, praise the Lord, and I still felt horrible for the rest of the day. I just remember Griffin came home and said, I want you to get in the pool with us. Your body might absorb some of the water through your skin, something. So I just remember like slumped over his shoulders and he just kind of like carried me around the pool. He was so sweet, but yeah, so that was a rough day. But I was very much reminded of how thankful I am to live where I do. Although it's a very nice area we were in, I'm still just grateful. It was nice to come back to the U.S. It's a great experience to go, and I look forward to being able to hopefully go again with the ability to be able to try all the wonderful foods, because oh my goodness, the stuff that they ate normally would look like amazing to me. Not right now. So I guess what just helped me get through that week was eating what I could, resting when I could, the fresh air. I mean, if it's something you can do and you're feeling awful, try to get in the fresh air. It could do wonders for you, especially if you have aversions to cooking smells. So I was super thankful to get to be outside that much while it was still winter here in Michigan. Weeks 10 to 12, I feel like the nausea and the heartburn subsided a little bit. But the strange thing was, the more it subsided, the more my stomach was on a hair trigger and likely to throw back up what I'd eaten at even less of an amount of nausea. It was strange, but it was nice at least not to feel that heartburn all the time, which can really, it got to me mentally. Still lots of food aversions then, living pretty much on like bread. If I could get down applesauce, I would. A little bit of peanut butter. Protein has been a struggle, but I praise the Lord. I'm so thankful that He made my body to take care of this baby even when I can't get much down. And so thankful for the variety of foods available to us nowadays. And thankful to my husband who when I needed random foods would get them for me, and put up with my, I must have this every single day, so I bought an entire thing of orange juice and now can't touch it, sort of a thing. I feel like that would be annoying, but it's annoying to me, but he never alludes to that, which is so sweet of him. So this is what we got for like a special cute little boy outfit, this little romper with fire trucks. My little brother wore all sorts of rompers and he was just the cutest thing ever in them. So we picked that one out because it was just so adorable. I would say during that time I started to learn to cope with it better. Hopefully started to learn to be more okay with not feeling well, with being laid up, and just mentally accepting it more and knowing that it's a good thing and it means my body's working to take care of this baby. But at the same time, I thought that week 13 was just around the corner and that I was going to feel amazing after that. One of my biggest mistakes was assuming that my pregnancy would look like someone else's, because most people's do clear up at 13 weeks and you do start to feel better. For me, that wasn't the case. Thankfully, right around week 15 exactly, it started to get a little better. Today was a little bit of a rougher day, but as you can see, I'm still able to function. I put makeup on, film a video, so super thankful that is starting to clear up, because I'm now 15 weeks and a few days, I think. Yeah. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention about that glucose test is afterward, my mom took me and we got a frozen Coke. My friends, I dream about that ever since. Like Thursday, I'm definitely going to get one. We tried to get one the other day and the McDonald's we were at didn't carry it. Like, what in the world? But that, for some reason, did wonders for my stomach. I've found in the past couple weeks that if I drink a little bit of Coke in the morning, I am able to drink like 2 quarts of water throughout the day, which is so much healthier than being able to drink like half a quart of water. Even though I don't agree with drinking pop on a regular basis with the rest of my life, at least right now it helps me get down fluids, which is number one thing need to hydrate and stay hydrated for this baby. Okay, so this is the most adorable thing I think I've ever seen in my life, clothing-wise, is this little girl's dress. I wish I had this dress in my size, but I saw it and I'm like, that's it. If I have a daughter, she will dress like this because it's just so cute. I don't know. I think it's adorable. Best thing, I think, is that my motivation for doing things is coming back. That's always the scariest, I think, is losing the motivation for life, for anything, because it feels like you're turning into a different person, but it is just a passing thing. It will also pass, and you'll be the same person on the other side. Well, maybe a little changed, because baby brain, it's a thing, but it's just nice to feel motivated. I don't feel like I could take on the entire world, but I feel like I can handle today, which is, it's all we need. A couple things I regret not doing would be, one, taking pictures, remembering to take pictures. I just didn't, it just didn't really come to my mind when I'm feeling sick, when I was feeling sick. Oh, I'm sorry, Mom, you have to watch this. I promise my bad grammar is not your fault. Anywho, I wish I had taken more pictures. I'd rather have more pictures with the baby than like maternity pictures, but still they're nice to have. And it's just part of like documenting and getting excited for the baby coming. So I kind of wish I had done more of that, but I just didn't feel up to it. So that's not like a huge regret. The huge regret I have is not making freezer meals ahead of time, because I didn't cook for like 2-3 months. 2 months. I think it was 2 months. And so my husband had to scrounge together his own meals, in which he is totally capable of doing and was very gracious about it. But I like to cook for my husband. It's one of the things I can do for him. And so it was really hard. And thankfully now we figured out kind of some easy meals we can do that we can both eat. But then I was just living off of bread, and so he had to kind of figure it out for himself. I was too tired to go to the grocery store, make grocery lists, so he was on his own, and I should have known better. I knew better. It didn't even cross my mind to make freezer meals. So next time, I think right after we have this baby, not that the plan is to get pregnant right away again, but just in case, I think I'm going to make a bunch of freezer meals just to have, just in case. Okay, we got this little shirt because it looks just like my kitty Rosie, the little kitten on it. Actually, I'm gonna go get Rosie. I'm assuming you guys would like to see her. A lot of people liked seeing her in the last video, so I'll be right back. She was being naughty earlier, hence why she was outside. But here she is now. Say hi, Rosie. I have no clue how she's gonna behave, but it's nice to have you back. The other thing I would do differently would be to just accept the fact that I wasn't feeling good and unable to do much at all sooner. There's a lot that goes into it mentally, just as is, without adding the extra burden of, I shouldn't feel this way. I shouldn't be unable to take care of my house this way. I shouldn't. Because that's where God had me. That's where God had me right then and there. And I'm still not back to normal entirely. I should sweep my floor today. Do I feel like it? Not really. Rosie's playing with all the tags down here. I just should have been a little bit more go with the flow, because it's no favor to me or anyone helping me if I'm not. The last thing I wish I had done is take the time to do some of the fun, enjoyable things. I think I felt so much guilt for not being able to take care of my house and do the not so fun, more mundane tasks that we all have to do, that I skipped doing anything fun when I felt up to it, specifically with doing something for the baby, making something, or homemaking, baking something, because I felt like I had to get done the not fun stuff before I could do that. Which, yes, there's definitely some truth to that, but when you feel awful and you don't feel like you can even do the hard stuff, because it's a bigger task, like sweeping the house, I had no energy to do that, then hello, then yeah, I kind of wish I would have been a little bit more gracious with myself in that way. You're sitting on my list. You're really cute, but you're sitting on my list. I know. Lastly, there are a few tips I can give you that I trust are generic enough that they apply to most everyone. Are you going to pull that out of there? Oh, first of all is to remember that God made your body to do this. And that if you're worried about your baby not getting enough nutrients and all that, God made your body to give up its own stores to take care of your baby. And he's got your baby covered, because sometimes you just can't get down another bite of food. You just can't. And in that moment, please trust Jesus that he knows what he's doing and that he cares for your baby so much more than you ever will. The next tip would be to narrow down your to-do list. Cut it in half or more. And I know that this is hard and it feels like, well, there's so much I still just have to do. And yeah, there is, especially I'm sure when you have other kids. But just please prioritize. I know for myself, there was so much I had on my list that, yes, was important, but it wasn't as important as I thought it was. And so I needed to narrow it down. I felt like each day there were kind of 3 things I could get done. I kind of narrowed it down to putting 3 things on my to-do list. Those things could be as simple as making the bed if I literally felt that terrible. Or it could be going grocery shopping, just depending upon the day. Do not chew up those shoes. You're not a dog. I think she's teething right now, so she's chewing everything. She's still teething, I think. Wozy. Ah, not my finger. Don't chew on my finger. Along the same thread, please do not overcommit. Okay, you're noisy. This is why I had you outside, but you're cute. She's playing with the pen. Please don't overcommit, especially if you're trying to get pregnant and you know you might be not feeling well for that time. Please don't overcommit. Oh, good gracious, you ate part of that tag. Rosie, she ate the part of that tag. Either ate it or spit it. Okay, good, it's right here. You scared me. You are trouble sometimes. Good gracious. As I was trying to say for the 3rd time now, don't overcommit, especially if you know you might be pregnant or if you know you are pregnant. Just because the first couple weeks don't go well, do not assume that it's going to be easy from here on out. Also, don't assume that it's going to be hard from here on out, because who knows? Who knows? You never know. Don't take anyone else's story and make it your own until you've been through it. Rest when you can. Ask for help. It's humbling. It's very humbling. I don't like it because it's very hard, but thankfully God put me in this position where I had to. I had no choice. I needed help. Like the glucose test, I knew I couldn't drive myself. So thankful for my mom and who was able to help me out during that time, for my sister who's got me groceries multiple times and helped clean up my house, and for Griffin for all he's done. This one's so cute. Woodland little animals and acorns and mushrooms. So adorable. My last tip would be to be okay with saving some of your energy to love on your husband. For me, there was nothing I could really do to serve him as far as like taking care of the house and all that. I did continue working. That was where my energy went, is into working, because that was how I was helping him at the time. But just saving up that little bit of energy to show him appreciation for what he's doing, and just love on him in whatever way is most of a blessing to him. Is there stuff in your mouth, Rosie? Good gracious. Yeah, just loving on him in whatever way is most of a blessing to him and you can handle. So we got a couple other things. This really cute little shirt, if you guys can see that. And my mom's favorite, which is absolutely adorable, is this little girl's romper with all the little flowers on it. They had an adult dress with this pattern, and I kind of thought about getting it. It's too bright for me, but I think it'd be so cute if you had a little girl to match her. I don't know. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to get these clothes washed sometime soon, sometime before baby comes at least. I'm going to put you in the basket because that is the best place for you. Here you go. Here's a tag. Play with it. I hope this video has been somewhat informative and helpful, especially if you're going through the first trimester right now. If you're not, it's probably not that valuable. But for those of you who are going through it, I'm praying that God gives you the strength and the durability to go through it graciously, and to just don't be too hard on yourself, please. You're growing a human. That is definitely a job in and of itself, and I have to keep reminding myself of that. There's this really sweet lady at church who told me, I don't even know her name, but she was talking to me about first trimester woes, and she said, girl, you're growing fingernails. That is hard. That's true. I mean, I never thought about it, but growing baby fingernails is probably very difficult. I find it humorous, but anyways, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys hopefully next week. See ya.